Enbridge.
Why don't you like Enbridge?
Because they just keep ruining other people's lives.
And what was some of your symptoms that you had after the oil spill?
I had 3 seizures at the other house and 2 seizures where I live now.
What was the fumes like?
They were very strong. They give you like a funny taste in your throat. It makes your throat kind of sore if you're breathing it in a lot.
Did you get sick from it?
Yes, I got migraines. I had a seizure for the first time in my life.
You had a seizure after the oil spill, the first time in your life?
Yes.
And then my son actually had an episode where he looked like he was having seizures, passing out. I even took him to the ER, and they just counted it as dehydration.
Well, it's from the oil spill. It's from the chemicals.
I have a 10-year-old son who has a mysterious, I don't know what it is, a muscle weakness, I guess they're calling it, or whatever, and he's in a crouched position, cannot stand up on his own, has to actually grasp his hands on something to pull himself up.
So he didn't have this before the spill?
No, he did not.
What are the doctors saying?
They don't know what's wrong with him. They've been trying to search something since January, and this is August, and they still don't have any answers for me.
So, and you feel that's because of the oil spill?
I'm thinking that it could be because of that. I mean, what else is there? I mean, you got a perfectly healthy 10-year-old, and then we have this oil spill last summer, and now he's got all these health issues, and we don't know what's wrong. And my other son has unexplainable rashes. Right now he's covered with a rash from head to toe, even the top of his feet. Don't know why. It's just is.
There's a lot of people that have rashes from this. They get little bumps on them and stuff.
Well, Corey's and David's were more than just bumps. I mean, Corey has scars from the front of his stomach that go around and travel to his back. And David's are more of the bumps but Corey's for some reason was worse. And they all have breathing problems. They're on nebulizers, inhalers. This is a scar that he developed last summer, and it kind of went on his stomach and it went all the way around his back side.
So it's on his back here, all the way around.
And they didn't know why or what it was.
Well, you said he got a rash from when the oil spill happened.
Right, it happened after the oil spill, but they couldn't tell me what it was from. And his brother had it from his chest all the way down his whole. Your brother's got a rash right now, doesn't he? Yeah. From head to toe. They don't know what it is.
Well, a lot of people think it's from the oil, so
we think it is, but you can't prove it.
There's no way to prove it.
The doctor does, he's the one, show him, Corey. Can you crouch down? Like if he gets down, he can't get back up. I know it isn't funny, but
that's hard to get up.
He got trapped outside one time like that. Can you get up? Without touching anything.
So your muscles hurt, or what hurt? What are your symptoms from the oil spill?
Well, I was an extremely healthy individual with no symptoms before. Now I suffer from fatigue, nausea, dizziness, headaches. I mean, just like a totally unhealthy, lethargic situation a lot of times before that.
And you came to my meeting at the Brickyard. We had 150 to 200 people show up. Did you learn anything there that you didn't know?
Yeah, actually I did. I mean, they really totally lied to me. They said it was 200 feet, and I'm less than 200 feet. And they showed me a computer model when I went down there and said I'm not in the infected area, but they said they would go ahead and give me $200 and I believe $12 anyway, just, sort of like hush money. They said, do you want money? Is that what you want? I go, yeah, sure. What are you going to give me? And they gave me $200, made me sign a paper. And later, on TV, a couple days later, maybe a week later, Congress says, yeah, right, you can't do that. I mean, they completely took advantage of us and everything. And a couple months later, I get a certified letter in the mail saying, well, oh, yeah, we made a mistake. We're going to compensate you, but you can't just walk in. You got to make an appointment. You got to bring this, and this. So I don't know how much they're going to offer me this time for hush money, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, yeah, they're pretty much admitting, yeah, they did wrong.
Well, they did do wrong, and the thing is, the reason why they want you to make appointments is because they don't want to come to you and do this. They want, because you've already signed off, so legally they can just let it go and pretend it never happened and that you signed off for 200 and some bucks. That's just crooked.
I'm no longer willing to settle for that.
Oh, heck no. You should be settling for $20,000-$30,000 at least. It depends on what you can get from your attorney, the hard work that your attorney can do. Every attorney is different, but we got people that are 3 times further away from you, and they're getting $35,000, plus all their medical bills are paid for. Are you mad?
Oh, I'm extremely mad. I used to live on a lake before I came here. The reason I rented this apartment is because it's like 100 feet from the river. I could just blow up my inflatable boat and go cruising down the river, fishing, whatever. They took that completely away from me. I never got to even do that one time. Not to mention that, right after the oil spill, I went down there to the bridge outside their exclusion zone, all taped off and everything. I was in their zone. And they had 3 thugs come up and threaten me with violence, saying, you're going to leave right now or else. And I just took that to mean, yeah, they were going to beat me up if I didn't leave. And all I was doing was looking at the catastrophe, basically, they created.
So Enbridge threatened you?
Yes, they did, with violence. I took it to be violence.
Through that morning, I was deathly sick. I was lightheaded, dizzy, sick at my stomach, throwing up, vomiting, having diarrhea. And that went on for about 2 weeks. And finally, Bill, my friend here, come back from Florida, and he said, you're going to the hospital. He said, you can't go on. I didn't know what was making me sick. I just thought, I don't know what's making me sick. I've never been like this before. And when I went into the hospital, I said, I don't know what it is, but all I know is I've smelled those fumes from the river. It was raw, crude oil. It was the horriblest smell you ever smelled in your life. And it was coming in my windows that morning, just coming all in the windows. And I thought, oh, my God. And I was just deathly sick for 2 or 3 weeks until I went to the hospital, and then they got me feeling a little bit better. But this has been an ongoing thing. I've been sick at my stomach it's just an ongoing thing, and I just have vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, dizziness, lightheadedness, and shortness of breath. And I've never been like this before until that mess come through.
Now you mentioned
the day of the oil spill, it wasn't even publicized, nothing yet. The oil went right, within 100 feet, a couple hundred feet from our house. My girlfriend got me up. It says, it smells like gasoline or something, gas.
Yeah.
Because the air conditioner was on in her room. And it was horrendous. She shut it off, closed the windows. The rest of the house we had to keep tied up for months, because it smelled. She couldn't take it. Probably the biggest thing was her. I'm going to say like within 6 weeks she was diagnosed with small cell lung cancer.
All right.
It took a while to find it because they had to fine tune those things, and it killed her. From the day she was diagnosed, September 8th last year, and she died December 23rd, right at Christmas.
Do you think any part of that was
I believe it had a lot to do with her health, her lungs. We didn't think about it then to check with the hospital saying, could this be, anything to do with oil and that? It sucks. My boy died from doing college, we think, seizures. He started having seizures last November, December. And he died of a seizure in the house 3 days before she died from cancer.
All right.
I got 2 in 1 week at Christmas.
What do you want to say? I want the truth. How are you feeling? People need to see what you're feeling.
Pipelines rust, they break, whatever the hell happened, east of us. But the cover-up on all this crap. They've lied about saying you can't do this, you can't do that. We couldn't move out of town.
You sit in the gases and the chemicals and you suffer.
We didn't know a lot of it.
Well, now people know because I'm trying to go around door to door. I should have did this months ago. I'm sorry I didn't.
But I'm glad you're doing this now. I know there's been other meetings some places we just didn't get there, or their work hours or doing whatever, and it's, but they're kicking their ass now. I hope to God it works, just to help take care of the people.
That's
I'm not the only one, but loss of life there's nothing you can do about it.
No. Some of these residents got sick, right?
They did.
And so how far are you from the river, approximately?
Approximately between 200 and 300 feet.
So everybody in there is between 200 and 300 feet that lived, 160 some people?
Yes.
Okay. So did Enbridge ever evacuate you guys?
No.
Why not? Do you know, did they tell you about the evacuation?
No.
Well, there was a mandatory 1,000-foot evacuation, and they should have evacuated everybody. Can you tell me about some of the symptoms you have or other people have had?
Myself, I have more migraines than I used to, and I've never really even thought about it. I know other people here have been really sick, migraines, diarrhea, throwing up. I didn't talk to every resident.
Right. Did you say something about a guy had a lot of seizures after the oil spill?
Yes.
And a girl had defects with her baby?
Yes.
All right. Oh, that's horrible. What I do, people, is I question them first, and then so we can have a shorter video, and then I will know what to ask them certain questions. So, well, are you mad at Enbridge? I mean, you said you went down there several times trying to get help for these people.
I went down there a lot of times to get help for these people, and they just kept sending me away, telling me no, that we didn't qualify for anything.
Well, didn't they pay, like, how many people did they pay?
They paid approximately 10 people here.
Out of 160, they paid 10 people.
Yes.
And why did they pick those 10 people?
I have no idea. It was a couple from certain buildings.
Wow, so they just picked and choose different people from different buildings.
Yes.
But everybody breathed this.
Right. We all breathed it.
Show everybody right on the other side. The river's right there. Right there's the river, and this is how close these people were to their house right here. Can you tell me about when the spill happened? Did Enbridge ever contact you and evacuate you?
No, Enbridge never contacted us. Nobody ever contacted us about it. We noticed it the day that it happened. I mean, obviously the smell was very strong for quite a while afterwards. And I have 3 young children at the time. My son was only a couple months old. Hold on. Where's this?
Lots of kids.
Yes, lots of little ones.
And I feel bad because they breathe these chemicals in, and it can cause leukemia and cancer.
And see, and I don't know what all the symptoms of it are. I mean, him alone, he's had 12 ear infections in 15 months.
Wow.
We've been battling for quite a while now. Respiratory problems. He's been on nebulizer treatments
That's
since
huge.
he was a baby.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying he's pre-asthmatic, and I don't know if that...
Well, it happened right after the oil spill, right?
Yeah, not long after, yeah, because he was born in May, and it happened in August, so he was only a couple months old.
Wow.
So she's had breathing problems for a while now. My oldest, I mean, she's pretty fine, but I mean, overall, and, you know, just the impact from the helicopters and these boats, and, you know, my husband was working 3rd shift, and it was affecting his sleep schedule, which was affecting, you know, his life at home with, you know, being exhausted all the time.
Right.
I went through a series of headaches for quite a while there, and I think that was just from the first initial, you know, breathing it and the smelling all the time.
That's what exactly what it was from.
You know, and, you know, that's gotten better, you know, with the time. I mean, obviously we can't smell it anymore, but even still, these boats and the helicopters on a daily basis, you know, it just gets frustrating seeing them, you know. And living across the river was something that we were really excited for when we moved in, because my kids love going fishing and boating. A week before it happened, my husband was floating down the river in a canoe, and, you know, we haven't been able to do that since. And, you know, my oldest is pretty bummed because that's one of her favorite things to do with her dad, is to go fishing.
Please don't let them go in the water.
Oh, no,
I mean,
no, we haven't even taken them by
even
the
after
river.
they clear it, because they're lying. It's in the water, and the
you can still see it.
Oh, and the MSDS sheet says that if chunks get into your body, then it can kill you.
Yeah.
So
well, we drive about a half hour away now to take them fishing. I mean, so, you know, that's been kind of a.
And so Enbridge never contacted you with hotel or evacuation or nothing?
Nope. And then after the whole thing, you know, we had tried contacting them. I looked up on websites looking for phone numbers off the news sites. I went through the yellow pages. Every number listed for Enbridge I called either was disconnected, it would ring and ring and ring. There was never a call back to us after we had spoke to them. They told my husband that someone would contact them. Nobody ever did. And we've just never been able to get a hold of anybody.
So they just didn't even care about you and your children, did they?
Nothing.
All right. We have lots and lots of sores here. What do you think that's from?
Well, it started about the time of the oil spill, a couple weeks after, maybe 2 weeks after the oil spill, and I got bad breakouts, some of them in my groin, on my legs, all underneath my arms, and it was like a toxin my body was trying to get rid of, sometimes as much as an ounce of poison.
Right.
And the first times it just drove me crazy. I lost the nail. That's another thing too. Last October, I lost the nails on my foot, the toenails.
Right.
Which that hurt a lot too.
So that was right after the spill, not too long.
Yeah, that was since the spill. It's like it killed all of the garden foliage. I got sick. One of our dogs died. My mother, who's elderly, everything about her, it's been a lot harder for me to take care of her since she got it, and I haven't been, like, I've had aches and pains that I never had before that. I stayed in almost every day I didn't know it was too bad. I was trying to take care of the farm, the gardens and lawns, and I got where I couldn't breathe with that burn that comes in.
Yep.
Threw up, and like I said, one of our dogs died. We used to have cranes that come in the yard, and they're gone. Half of our cats disappeared. Birds were dead all over our yard. And I've watched, I tried to tell this to Trace with the Enquirer News, and they were taking and pushing earth across the other side, as I live on the side of the road across the river, within probably 300 feet of the river, and I was watching, they were taking dump truck loads of dirt and filling in, encapsulating the sludge that was on as soon as the river went down. And they covered up with about 6 inches of earth and clay, and then compact it, and then covered up with straw and throw zinnia seeds on. It's what they did this spring.
You mean grass, right?
It looks more like a zinnia's flower mix.
Okay.
It's because they're big, tall things. They just started to bloom, and a lot of them are zinnias.
All right.
There may be some grass in that, but it was like a wildflower mix that was annual wildflowers to cover up the mess, so it didn't look so much like they were just throwing straw and raw dirt on it.
So they were actually putting dirt over the top of oil, then planting grass over the top of that.
Right. They didn't. You always hear how on the news they're sopping it up, but they didn't sop it up, they covered it up.
Did you complain about it?
I told the Enquirer News I haven't been across the street, as there's hundreds and sometimes 100 vehicles that are on the other side of the road, and there's airboats roaring. They have their check station now, they built in right across the street from me. And I've been trying to take care of my mother, who's a lot sicker since this has come up. So
give me some symptoms that you know.
I can't even take my mother now on the car ride without me having to stop because she craps her pants.
All right.
And I've had that too. I didn't know that was anything from it.
Oh yeah,
but
diarrhea is part of it.
Vomiting on times. I'll get up in the morning and throw up. Sometimes to the point I've thrown up blood. The dog, the one that didn't die on us, it gets out some mornings. It's better now, but it lost all its hair.
And you said one of your animals already died?
Yeah, we lost the older dog.
How long after the spill?
About a month.
About a month after the spill. There's hundreds of people that have now told me that their pets have died. I want a little background. Did you say you were in the Navy?
I was Army for 12 years.
Army?
The last 7 I was an officer.
So you were an officer in the Army, and you know chemicals a little bit, you mentioned?
We'd have, when I was doing maintenance, we'd have to do things like, if you had an oil that drop out of your truck, you'd have to call in and get all of the sheets and do toxic cleanup. And I didn't see them doing any of the stuff we had to do in the Army to clean up our, a quart of oil spilled.
So you have knowledge of what should be done in the cleanup process and what they weren't doing in the Battle Creek Marshall cleanup process.
Yeah, it surprised me. That's why I got a hold of Enquirer News and told the reporter, Trace Christensen, but they
didn't do anything?
I never heard anything more from him. I gave him my address and phone number, and he just...
The Battle Creek Enquirer hasn't said anything negative about Enbridge or the EPA, and I have contacted them many a times. The only time they put me in the paper was to say that I was going to meetings, and they didn't talk about the cover-up. I don't understand. Maybe they get paid off. I don't know. I have no idea why. Maybe they're afraid of Enbridge. I don't know.
I didn't know why I was getting sick, and my mother, sometimes, like today, I had to take her and put her down for a couple hours, and she gets sick and she'll throw up, and her blood sugar has gone up in the 400s, and I can't take her away from home because she gets diarrhea and has fevers and has headaches all the time.
Headaches are a big part of it too. Migraines, headaches.
She's lost her hair too, parts of her hair. It's really thinned out. And I know she's old, but she's aged, in the last year.
Because of the oil spill.
It was during that phase, that 3 months right after it, that I really noticed she got really sick. She said her lungs were burning, mine were burning. That's when we lost the dog.
Well, trust me, it was from the oil spill. They just don't want you to know about it. And so, what do you want to tell Enbridge? What do you think about their cleanup process, the EPA?
They should really clean it up. If they have to remove that layer of oil and wash the entire valley out, because what I understand, it has heavy metals in it, and you cover it up, it's going to get in the groundwater and be there for 1,000 years. They need to excavate everything within the contamination plume and beyond it.
What did you think of my videos? You just came across my videos, didn't you?
Yeah, today.
And what did you think about it? You contacted me and...
Well, I thought to myself, I got some of the information about some of the sickness that's happened. It sounded like what my mother and I have been going through. And I knew we were sick, but I couldn't figure out why we were sick. And I think since it happened right with the oil spill, I think that's what's hit us.
I think so too, and I'm glad you contacted me. Is there anything else you would like to add before we're done?
I'm not sure if whatever the contaminants were caused neuro damage, but I've had the shakes sometimes so bad I can't even hold a drink, and they'll fall right down. And that's happened since I got in that sphere too.
It says that it can mess up your nervous system. So who knows, maybe it did. I hope not, but...
I rather hope to too, because it's something that's fairly permanent when you get neuro damage.
Well, we need to get an attorney for you.
My story is that my son came down the stairs and said he could not breathe and his chest hurt. I called the doctor directly. I went to the doctor the same day. The doctor called Enbridge themselves. They told the doctor that there is no test. The very next day, I stopped EPA myself, and he said, get out now, keep calling, they're lying to you.
He said Enbridge is lying?
They said Enbridge is lying.
So
the EPA said Enbridge is lying to get out. And so, we got out. And also, a month ago today, I had to give my children's father CPR myself to save his life. He had one seizure in front of the kids at home, and I gave him CPR. He stopped breathing. The fire department came. He came back to. He had 7 more in the hospital. They moved him from the second floor to critical care. His blood pressure was between 20 and 40. He was going to die. They had put him on every tube they could to keep him alive. They sedated him for 5 days. He was knocked out. I held his hand for 5 days straight, and he woke up 5 days later.
So did he stay in the hotel with you?
No, he was not allowed to stay in the hotel with me because he was not on the lease.
So wait a minute. So he was not on the lease, but he stayed at your house?
Yes.
So he stayed in the oil spill, basically?
Yes.
And
my back porch is across the street from the river. It is less than 50 feet away. They told me, I want my kids and myself and their dad to be healthy the rest of our life. I am sick. Now I have high blood pressure. I have stomach pain. I went to the hospital and the doctor 8 consecutive days in a row, and they still don't know what's wrong with me. Why don't they know what's wrong with me yet?
The river is right there. I don't know how many, just mere feet away, not even.
Right behind you?
Yep.
Okay, did you get sick when the oil spill happened?
Yes, I did.
Like, what do you mean sick? Tell me.
I was sick for about 2 weeks, though I didn't miss any work, but I can't afford to miss work. But I was very nauseated for 2 weeks. My vision was blurry for about a week, and it was coming in spurts off and on. Like, one day my vision would be blurred, the next day it wouldn't. I threw up the first day the oil spill came. It was right at the courthouse. I vomited, sorry. I vomited, and I was very nauseated.
Did they ever evacuate you?
No, I actually called the number, and they told me that I was fine. I told them
You started getting really sick after the oil spill.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe it's from the fumes that you breathe in?
Yeah, no question.
And you saw on the news, you mentioned that you found out what some of the symptoms were?
Yes.
So you didn't really know that some of the seizures and the sickness and stuff was from the oil at first, because what did Enbridge tell you?
They told us we were going to be all right, and that Enbridge also said that there was no way this could contaminate us or harm us, which I really didn't believe. I figured 1 million gallons of oil like that. You know, I mean, people that work in plants like that wear all kind of breathing masks and stuff.
So Enbridge told you and your daughter that these chemicals will not hurt you.
Yeah, and that nobody in the community was going to be hurt or impacted by that. They were cleaning up the river, because I had even asked the gentleman at Enbridge. I said, well, if it didn't impact us, which I didn't believe him. I asked him about wildlife and stuff, and he was saying the fish and squirrels and all the other animals were going to be okay. And I'm thinking to myself, how can a fish be okay to eat if it's got
Robert,
oil in it?
Robert,
Yes.
every single fish in 40 miles of river died. None of them lived.
Oh,
so when Enbridge tells you, because you never got in the river, that the fish are going to be okay, 110% lie. Oh my God, that makes me mad. How do you feel about this?
It makes me very angry too, because what if people go ahead and fish because they believe that? Am I going to always have to have seizure medicine, or am I always going to have seizures from this, or am I always going to have this make me have anxiety and personality disorder?
So you're talking about your long-term effects, what's going to happen to you?
Yes, sir.
Weren't you an athlete your whole life?
Yes, sir.
And I imagine you played football. You're a pretty big guy.
Yes, and I played three sports in high school: track, football, and basketball. And I played rec basketball and rec softball up till I was almost age 40, and I'm age 50 now.
Right. And so after this oil spill, you just went way downhill.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, it's important. Your story is important just like everybody else's. We're finding out that all these seizures were from the oil spill. And we're getting, you know, dozens and dozens of the people are telling me about these seizures.
And I appreciate you and your assistant, because I thought I was the only one having seizures, and it's comforting to know that there are others having seizures, and I know that Enbridge directly lied to me to my face.
Yes, they did. They've lied to a lot of people, and I'm going to try to tell the world about it, okay, sir?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Robert.
Your life, you never had a seizure, and these people are getting seizures too. It really blows you away that they can get away with stuff like that. But they have a lot more money than us.
Well, so what do you think about Enbridge having all this money and all the residents that are, you know, some of them don't have anything. You don't even have money to go to the doctor to find out what's wrong with you sometimes.
I feel it's very crooked, sir, and I think it should be against the law for them to be able to lie to the people after they pollute our river and the people's bodies like that.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm going to do everything I can to get these guys arrested. Had the people that run Enbridge at the sites that signed off on these areas that are still full of oil, and the Enbridge people that never told anybody about the evacuation. That's my goal.
Yeah, I personally would like to do some things to them, but that'd be against our American and Jesus law.
Shallow waters, I can't see the wondrous life God created to be. The tankers and pipelines keep coming through. I turn my head and so did
Marshall, Michigan, actually Battle Creek, but that's where the spill happened. And we had about 900,000 gallons of sand tar oil, which is highly toxic. It doesn't float very much, it sinks into the river. So I noticed that you're only about 30 to 40 feet from where the oil was.
No, 5 feet.
5 feet? Is that what you measured it?
Yeah, it's right in back of my trailer. There's a little thing that holds water, and trust me, we're 5 feet away from it.
All right. I believe you. I don't know how far it reached, so, and I believe it was 5 foot. Wow, so you were breathing in those chemicals like right next to your back door.
Yeah, we couldn't leave to go to a hotel room either. We didn't have the money to.
Well, didn't they say they were going to pay for everything?
We had to pay for it first, and then they were going to reimburse us.
Well, but if you don't have the money, how can you do that?
We couldn't.
So they forced you to live in these conditions.
Yeah, like I said, we didn't have the money to move.
All right. Did you have the money to go to the hospital to get tests or anything?
No.
So Enbridge didn't offer to evacuate you?
No.
What if I told you there was a mandatory 1,000-foot evacuation?
Put down into where the mud is, and you can come up oil. Trust me, I had to buy my kids several pairs of shoes because my youngest one plays back there, and yeah, there's oil on his shoes all the time.
What do you have to say about these oil companies? What do you want to say to Enbridge?
Well, I was in the newspaper after I said that Enbridge should check all their lines going all the way across. But, yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Are you mad?
Oh, yeah. My kids might get some kind of health problem somewhere down the road, and they haven't offered no medical assistance or anything, and I'm bad enough to where I die, I can't fight for their rights.
So they haven't even tested your children's blood to see, I mean, they lived right next to it and they were never evacuated. They haven't tested them?
Seems like it should be a mandatory test. Seems like they should send them to a doctor, not their doctor, a doctor of our choice.
Wow. That's scary. So all these kids in this trailer park are fending for themselves because the parents are trying to do something, but they can't afford to do anything, and Enbridge won't pay for it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is. We'd have to pay for a doctor ourselves. We'd have to pay for any kind of admission and anything ourselves. And we live here basically because it's the cheapest place to live, and it's still in Harper Creek.
Do you feel that they help other people more because you live in a trailer park?
I think they treated me like a hillbilly when they first met me, and that pissed me off.
Will you tell me about what were you offered by Enbridge to sign off your rights?
An air purifier or an air conditioner.
Or an air conditioner?
Yes.
Not both?
No.
Wow, that's one of the stingiest offers I've ever heard. I know a lot of people were offered air purifiers, but some of them were offered two, some were offered air conditioner and a couple air purifiers. Show me, and tell me what you're feeling. I mean, for your kids. People are going to be watching this, and they need to see what you're feeling.
Trust me, you don't want to know what I'm feeling.
Yes,
right
I
now.
do. I do.
Alright, I just don't understand how they could do something like this and just leave it alone. Like I say, no doctors, no testing whatsoever. The EPA comes and parks in front of my trailer at 12 o'clock at night so nobody can see them testing out there. Then the EPA comes here and tells us that everything is okay when we know it's not. Why are they testing in the middle of the night if everything's okay?
Exactly. So at any point in time, did you ever go to a hotel?
No, I couldn't afford it.
You never went to a hotel?
No.
And you're 5 foot from the oil?
Yes.
I'm so mad right now. So, what what do you want Enbridge to do now to help you?
I don't know what they can do to help us. We do have health issues. I mean, yeah, it's not going to do no good now. They should have paid out some kind of money so we could have moved to some other place without trying to be cheap about it. They should have gave us the money to go to a hotel. But no, they wouldn't do that. They decided if we can't afford it, that's just tough. So,
what do you want me to tell EPA and Enbridge? What do you want me to do to make them do things right? What do you think I can do to help? I know it's a tough question.
Get people to understand that they let people live in an unsafe environment. I mean, that was just wrong. And maybe enough people will get pissed off and get mad about this to where they'll be forced to do something now, which is a little bit too late. But
so let's say you, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth. What if you pass away next month? What about your kids? I mean, Enbridge isn't going to help them. They could get sick in the future, and there's nothing that Enbridge is doing to help.
No, you're right about that. In the future, I mean, I have cancer, I have open heart surgery, a bad valve, and now I got a bleeding ulcer. There's nothing I can do to help my children, but my children are smart enough to get lawyers to sue them.
Okay. Well, something I want to tell everybody, this is important. People don't know this. A lot of people have attorneys, and they have gag orders. They're not allowed to speak out because the attorneys just request that. Then you have a lot of people that have settled privately with Enbridge, and they sign these confidentiality agreements so they can't talk. So what happens then is you have the majority of people on the river that cannot speak out. And I'm speaking for them. These videos are speaking for the people and the victims that can't speak out for themselves. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do to help. Well, thank you for helping me out with this video. This will help other people in the future. There's other spills that have happened and that will happen, and these people need to see what these companies do, so that way we can all as a group work together to better our environment, better the health of the people that are around these spills, and make sure there's mandatory evacuations and hold these companies accountable for what they're doing. Is there anything that you would like to add before we're done with this?
It's hard feeling helpless when you have two kids. And there's nothing that you can do about it because you can't afford to do anything about it in the first place. You got the poor going up against the rich, so we just look like we're greedy if we try to do anything at all. Thank you for your time, John.
Well, you're not greedy. I want you to know that. You just want this company to pay you for what they have done to hurt you and your family and to contaminate your property. That you just want what's right. And these companies are so deceiving and evil that they don't give a crap. If the press is called, that's when they do something, just to cover their reputation. But if no one ever complains, they will not do anything to help you.
It's not dangerous.
So
why are we still getting sick? And they won't give me answers. Oh, it's clean, it's safe, it's this, it's that. Live here then. Tell me it's clean and it's safe. Live here and eat what comes out of that river. Swim in that river and tell me it's safe.
Yeah, I hear you. I know what you mean. I've been talking to a lot of people that are going through the same thing.
And then Enbridge tells me I live too far away from the river to be affected by it. And I can throw a rock in the river. That's how close I live. I'm pissed. Turn it up, please. John?
Hey, you know they need to see it.
You gonna bail me out?
Am I gonna? Yeah, I'll bail you out.
All right.
When I get my unemployment check.
Well.
And he pays his bills first, right?
Phyllis,
Phyllis, I'll make this a priority to get down there and talk to you. Okay.
All right. I will talk.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you.
That was Lisa LaPlante with Channel 17. Yeah, Phyllis, they need to see this stuff.
I know. Are they still running at the jaws in there?
Nope, they're done.
I'm bad. I come up with, every day. I come up with little pimples on my arms. And they break out. I never had that. Never.
Have you seen the doctor now?
Yeah.
He says she's not going to make it to her 50th birthday because of this oil spill from the chemicals. That's what he told her.
Excuse me, sir. What's your name? I'm Richard.
My name's John Bolenbaugh, and I'm her friend.
Yeah. It's affected me more than you would think. And your company says it's not harmful. But yet, like I said, I'm not going to make it to my 50th birthday. I'm 49 years old. You like your life shortened that much?
No. Call me tomorrow.
Would you take your
I'd love to learn more about your
Would you take your grandkids to the river? Would you take your kids to the river?
So once the health department's deemed the river to be safe, then folks can use it.
It's not safe though. And I'll be damned. My last breath would keep that river down.
They just started cleaning
the oil from there. That oil's been there for over a year, and they kept telling us, well, there's no oil there. There's no oil there. Bullshit.
No, we know there's oil. We know there's oil. And if you saw on the map, I mean, that's mile point 13, I believe.
Right there,
13.0. Yeah, yes, that's mile point 13. We know there's overbank oil there. We know there.
And we're not only on the one side of Baker's, but we're surrounded by it.
And we also have set up air monitoring stations and air sampling stations.
I see that.
So, unfortunately, all I can tell you, and I don't know what to tell you about your condition. There's a lot of health. I'm not a doctor.
Just explain to my grandkids when I'm gone why Grandma's gone.
As far as they figured it was eligible.
So they're saying chemicals reached these houses, but they didn't reach these houses.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty stupid.
I think that's absolutely nuts.
Now, tell me some symptoms. What is hurting you?
My lungs. I was just diagnosed with emphysema. Honestly, and this is honest, gosh, I just told my doctor, I can't remember. Like I was watching some videos, and it gave names of different videos, and an hour later, I couldn't remember the videos.
Right.
My memory is absolutely shot.
And you said your lungs are really bad?
Yep, I was just diagnosed with emphysema. They said I had the lungs of an 83-year-old man.
And you were fine before that?
And I was fine before that.
Yeah, it's an oil spill, sir. And I mean, I'm trying to do what I can to help you. I'm just trying to document so I can get hundreds of people to say, you know, what's wrong with them, and maybe some people with some power will listen when we get enough people to complain.
Hope so. I mean, I went to the hospital, and Enbridge wouldn't cover nothing. I even went down and talked to Enbridge. They would cover absolutely nothing. My insurance had to cover it.
What do you want to say to them? They watch my videos.
Oh, I think that it's seriously unfair the way they're treating people. You know, it's unfortunate that they had the oil spill, but I think that they should help everyone that's involved, not just, you know, just draw a line and say, we'll help those guys and too bad for you.
So, well,
I've been here for 3 years, and my sister's dog just died of cancer, and I know that she's on that side, and they give her benefits. And that dog was healthy as a horse until that oil spill. And the other people down here have a dog, and it's been seriously sick. I think a lot of things contribute to the oil spill.
A lot of animals have died, a lot of pets.
I'll bet.
And we found thousands of dead animals.
Yep.
So all the fish died too in 40 Mile River. August 14th, 2011. Just showing you dead fish. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just in this small area right here. 6, I see, oh, there's 7, 8, oh, there's a whole bunch of them. But it's because of all this massive amount of oil right here. December 11th, 2011. 2.5 is the area, and that's what I found in the water. Don't know how it died, but what if? What if the contaminants in the river caught up to the deer over the last year and a half and finally killed it? Close they are to the river. River's right there. I mean, how far away are you?
50 feet.
50 feet. Did Enbridge ever evacuate you?
No.
Oh, wow. I can't believe that. You're so close. Did you ever get sick from this?
Yes.
What's some of the symptoms that you've had?
I've had the eyesight, the blurriness, migraines, sores, that I don't know what the cause of it is from. I've touched, I don't know if it's because I've bathed in that water, brushed my teeth, washed my hair, diarrhea. I'm forever coughing.
Didn't you say something about your eyesight?
Yeah, my eyesight is number one. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
The eyesight, yes, the eyesight.
And your husband did you say something about you were itching all the time and you had a rash?
Yeah, I have a rash, very serious rash. It's kind of disturbing though.
Was it all over your body?
Somewhat, but mainly in my groin area.
Okay. Yeah, we've had a lot of people say that. Well, you know now because I've told you about there was supposed to be a mandatory evacuation. Are you mad about that?
Yes, I am. I'm angry.
Yeah.
Well,
Very angry.
Come on, Enbridge watches these. Tell Enbridge what you think.
I believe that Enbridge is paying people these inconvenience checks to shut them up and get them out of the way because we did not know any better.
So you feel lied to?
Yes, I feel lied to.
Yes,
taken advantage of, and harassing. I guess I don't know if they were trying to get people to hurry up and talk them into buying the home to get them out of there. But it wasn't. To me, it wasn't a solution.
No, they did it to save money.
Exactly. And I don't feel like it was right. And I don't.
No.
And one of my things is, I go out of town every day. I go to work, and I'm back in here like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm not aware, of this hazard. So I comes in, take a bath, go to sleep, get up and go to work, come back, and then on the weekends, I'm sleeping right through it. I don't have any time to really communicate with any of the Enbridge people to really find out what's really going on.
Don't. They're not going to tell you anyways.
They're not gonna tell you anything.
Okay. No.
And then I just said this house. I don't care how much bleach you use. This stuff is still. I believe it's still in here, and it is.
Yeah, it gets on the walls.
Yeah.
When did they evacuate you? How long did you sit in those toxic fumes?
We were probably there about a week before we finally got evacuated.
So you were there for an entire week breathing in these horrible chemicals, and then finally they said, okay, we'll give you a hotel room.
Yes.
Well, you just talked to or listened to Dr. gitga'at, and she told you that these chemicals can hurt you for years past by breathing them in. What do you think about what you heard?
Actually, it's the truth because it's been over a year. Me and my husband, we've both are still not feeling well. We're still tired all the time, and my husband's been having headaches every day. All of a sudden, we're sick, with sore throats and stomach problems, and he's just been having headaches every day.
And are you mad at Enbridge for not evacuating you when it happened?
Yes.
What do you think about it? Tell me.
They should have done it sooner. They should have been more respectful for us instead of themselves.
Well, they got they're a $1 billion company, and they got lots of money. They could easily throw money at you and got you out of there safely.
Yes, they could.
So they just didn't care about your health. Is that what you feel?
Yeah.
And you lived by the river when the oil spill happened, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
I went to the hospital after the oil spill. I say in this last year, maybe a good 30 times, from being sick with headaches, not being able to keep food down, always sleeping, and I've never been sick in my life like I have in the past year from the oil spill.
Offered me a breather. They brought a breather down here, broke in a week.
And did they have you sign off anything or attempt to?
I had to sign a piece of paper for the that they had delivered me a breather.
Yeah.
You know, one of them air cleaners.
Yeah.
And I had to buy an air conditioner, and they told me to close it off and just breathe the air that's inside the house and not pump in the air that's from outside because of the benzene that was in the air.
Yeah.
And I had lost my garden last year because of the oils that went on it, and I had to destroy. I can't even tell you how much money I put in the gardens. It's well over, I can't even tell you.
So it killed all your plants in the garden?
Yep, killed the 3 beehives back there. They did replace them for a gentleman, and he signed off for his hives, but I had to start up 3 new hives, and I got a new one that I'm putting back together, and they're not cheap. They're like $1,000 a piece.
Right. And so, wow, I can't believe they didn't evacuate you. You're right here. Now, when you signed that paperwork for that air purifier, did they try to does it say that you signed off your rights?
They tried to say that's what they tried to pull later on everybody that did that. They got an air breather.
Yeah.
But the lawyer here said that doesn't fly because that's not what I signed for.
Right, and the Senate said that they were ripping all those up because it was a disgrace for this company to try to deceive everybody.
And the only reason they gave it to me is because I'm on disability for having a bad lung from going into house fires. So
well, no, they offered air purifiers to a lot of people to get them to send off their rights.
It broke in a week, so it wasn't no good.
Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah.
So, well, I just wanted to get your information, and we'll, make it public so everybody can see.
It's sad because I've lived down here for 20 years. We've owned the property for 50, and I've lost over $10,000 in equity just on my home in the last 2 years.
And you mentioned you built your house, right?
Yeah, and beyond that.
Well, let us know how mad you are.
They've ruined it. You can't use the water. They chase you off. You go down to the river.
Yeah.
You get a ticket if I guess you go fishing.
Yeah.
And then you paid for your fishing license, and now you can't use it.
That's right.
You don't want to eat the fish.
No more anyways. But yes, I did. I lived a lot off my land and off the fish, the stock fish.
Right, prior to this. But
I used to have minnows that you could catch minnows down here and sell them to the bait shops with a license. But now you can't do anything.
So you lost part of your livelihood.
Well, a lot of it.
Yeah. And well, tell me why you're mad at them.
Well, they wouldn't even come down here. They cleaned on the other side of the river where the linear park trail is. And they made it look real good, but they closed the roads off, wouldn't let people down there. They would chase you off. They had their own guards. They wouldn't let you come down there. They were covering up a lot of the stuff.
What do you mean covering up?
They were putting stuff, they were like saying they were digging up all the ground and putting new on, but a lot of times they were just putting stuff down, and they were using that deformant stuff, pouring it into the water to catch the oil, besides those round things. They had bags and semis full of this detergent-looking stuff they were putting in there to soak it up.
Oh,
they
really?
didn't want us to see that. And they chase you off, and then
they put chemicals in there.
Yeah, they had big bags of this white stuff. They were just pouring it in. Semis.
Approximately how far away?
About 200 feet.
Okay. Did you ever get offered money?
Yes.
How much money?
$200.
Wait a minute. You signed off for $200?
Yes.
Do you know that people are getting tens of thousands of dollars that are within 200 feet?
I wasn't aware of that until lately.
So you feel they ripped you off?
Yes, I do.
Were you ever sick?
Yes.
Can you tell me what your symptoms were?
Severe headaches, nausea, fatigue, forgetfulness, all of it.
Did you ever have any sores, or was it hard to breathe?
Yeah, it was hard to breathe. You find yourself gasping for air sometimes.
Yeah, it was horrible here. What do you want to tell Enbridge? Are you mad?
I'm very upset. I think that they took advantage of us. They didn't educate us correctly, and I think they should take whatever we can dish out to them.
Well, this is the air quality test documents from the EPA. On 7/30/2010, the benzene level was 1,700 parts per billion. Okay? This is very important. Listen to what I have to say. Only 6 is the legal amount. These residents were living in benzene so toxic that it will kill you. And they were forced to live right there in Terry's home in the worst toxic chemicals of oil known to mankind. And he was not told about it for several days. He was not offered a hotel room. And they are very sick. very
screwed
sick.
again. Enbridge has screwed everybody in this county by allowing this pipe to be used when they knew it was bad, and then it breaks. They don't tell nobody. How long was it before they came and told you about the break?
3 days after it.
3 days.
We knew it was happening.
You have to understand, people, for 3 days there was an oil spill right here. Right there's the equipment right there. Right here is where the spill was. It's right next to him. And for 3 days, he breathed in the worst chemicals known to mankind that's caused from this oil for an entire month. And you're right next to it, in the worst place. This is the worst place to be. Because down the river, 20 miles, there's still oil. It still smelled bad. But it's nothing compared to how bad it was here. This is the worst.
Yeah, because it was a pond. It was just a regular pond over there of oil.
Just of oil. And I'm actually, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. And
I started smelling it Saturday night.
Saturday night. And what day are they saying it happened?
And they said it happened on Monday.
Right. So.
But a Sunday is when they started getting complaints.
Right. And so you're saying it happened 2 days before they reported it. And this is what other people have said. And I'm going to get some more people to, to testify to that. But this gentleman was right here. He's right next to the spill. He's actually the closest house to the spill. Yeah.
And stuff. I've been active all my life. I do 2 or 3 jobs. And since the spill, I don't have energy to do anything. I can work an hour or 2 and then I have to sit on a rest.
And you feel it's from what?
From the oil. I had a physical just in 2009, and I was totally cleared. I was in good health. And in 2010, I ended up with my liver count up.
Well, it's because of the oil. I know that, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But Enbridge is going to deny it.
And they told me that we're not a medical company. We don't have.
No, they're a get you sick company, give you cancer company, ruin your life company. You die before you're supposed to, so you see your grandkids grow up company. Yeah, this is a really good company, Enbridge. I'm really disgusted with you, Enbridge. As I said, Pat Daniels, I've seen you in person. You don't impress me any. I don't appreciate all the lies you've told my community, saying you're going to clean it up properly. Then I approve and am told to cover it up, and I prove you've covered it up. You sicken me, and now you're telling us in court that you don't deserve to help us. It's not your fault. You guys are making so much profit, and then you are making us sick, and you're putting us in the hospital, and you're going to give us cancer, and people are having, some people have died, and some people have had miscarriages, but you don't say it's because of you. Because like this gentleman just said, you're not a medical company. No, you're a get people sick company, ruin their lives, and you deny any responsibility for it. You know what? Your company, I try to give you credit sometimes, but the more and more I hear of the lies that you've told people and the things you're doing to these people, God, it makes me despise your company. You sicken me. Enbridge, I hope the whole world knows from my videos what you are doing to these residents. It's sad. And you go from spill to spill and you do the same exact thing. And I'm the only person that's ever stood up to you that I know of. Go ahead and kill me, do whatever you want to me, but I am not going away until I'm dead. So you better get it done quick if you want me to shut up.
You're not doing everything you can because it's been over a year. It would have been cleaned up by now.
Yeah, we are. We're working
So
with
you've
EPA
really got a heavy load. There's a lot of shit left in there, right?
No, I don't believe that.
Then why are you still messing around with it?
John just lied to everybody again.
There's still a lot of stuff
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to move on, but I understand your concerns and I appreciate that.
Do I have to?
John doesn't want to be on camera.
I know you're laughing. You think it's funny.
Self-mark.
You think it's funny. You know what? If you lived here, you wouldn't have that laugh on your face. You wouldn't think it was funny when you're back.
About what he had to say.
I knew what he was going to do.
And what did he say? Well, he ran out as soon as you started walking up to him.
Oh, sure he did.
What
he had that cop. You get that with a cop behind him? I said, what's this guy? Big ape. Great big guy, big security guy. You thought I was going to get in a tussle with him or something?
That's how they try to intimidate all of us.
Well, I don't intimidate. Even if they can kick my ass, but I'll tell you what, you know what? If they kick my ass too bad, after I get out of the hospital, somebody else is going to be in the hospital, and I'm going to be in jail.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
Right.
I'm 70 years old in December. I don't have that much longer to live. I ain't got a whole hell of a lot to lose. He's got a lot more to lose than I have because he's a lot younger than me.
Right.
Now, that's not a threat.
I know it's not.
It's a fact.
I know. You're just upset because they're not cleaning it up properly. I know. They're not doing a good job.
And that smile he's got on his face, that irks me. Like I said, if he lived out here, he wouldn't have that smile on his face.
I know.
From underneath the trees, we watch the sky, confusing stars and satellites. I never dreamed that you'd be mine, but here we are, we're here tonight, singing, hey, man, I'm alive, singing, hey, man, I am alive. Died and I'm singing, hey, amen, amen, I'm alive, amen, amen, I'm alive. And in the air, the fireflies are only light in paradise. We'll show the world they were wrong and teach them all to sing along.
Yeah.
I work at Burger King in Marshall, and the fumes were overwhelming there. I saw some gentleman in a truck. I worked a double that day. I opened the store and I closed the store. And I asked them what was going on. I noticed they were in an oil truck. And they said, oh, we're looking for an oil leak. Somebody's underground tank or something sprung a leak.
So they lied to you?
Yeah. And later that night, I saw them coming back. I said, oh, did you ever find your oil spill? And he's like, yeah, it was shooting straight up in the air.
What's your name, please?
Mark Monk.
Mark Monk?
Yes.
And you are owner of the Moonraker, or part owner?
Yes.
All right. That's in Marshall. The oil spill was on the other side of this building. And when did you smell the oil for the first time?
It would have been the Friday before it was called in on that Sunday.
Okay, so it was called in on Sunday, but you smelled it on Friday, which is the July 23rd.
July 23rd.
And did anybody else smell it?
Yeah, quite a few customers had been coming in off the golf course, which is probably less than a mile away from here, or right around a mile from here, and had observed smelling the same type of smell that we had observed on our deck as well as in our parking lot.
Now, didn't you have the guy that actually made the 911 call on Sunday that reported this? He also smelled it on Friday?
Jim, his name was Jim Blankenship. He also observed smelling it on Friday, I believe as well as Saturday, but I do remember that he did make the call after leaving here approximately at 9 p.m. on Sunday.
All right.
25th.
Well, I want to thank you. They were actually looking for it prior to the 911 calls because I've actually talked to other people about when Enbridge started looking for it. And Enbridge basically for 3 days didn't do anything about this. And I don't know. I mean, maybe they could have stopped a lot of the oil from going through the pipe if they would have just, shut it off right at the beginning. What do you think?
I think it would be strange for them to not know that it was an oil spill if we could smell it locally on the ground, above the ground.
Right. And you're downwind from it, right?
Yes.
That's why they smelled it before some of the other people did on Saturday.
Yeah, and we're actually fairly closer to the oil spill itself than what a lot of people see because our property is real close to it.
Right. And I've walked it, so I know how far it is. Well, thank you for your information.
Sure.
Evacuate you.
No.
Did they ever offer you anything?
Yes.
What did they offer you?
$250.
$250. Now, didn't you get sick from this?
Yes, I got sicker. Yes.
And did you go to the hospital and see your doctor about it?
Yes.
And what did your doctor say?
She said that's where it came from, the smell. It affected my asthma real bad. And then they had to put me on oxygen.
So you had to go on oxygen afterwards?
Yes.
All right.
It's old age also, according with this chemical spill.
Yeah, I believe it's from the chemicals. I believe it accelerated everybody's sickness.
That fucking killed how many people here? It's killed how many people here? It has actually killed over 14 people here.
How many people do you think?
14. That's what I think. I got severely, violently ill. And I was heading my way out the trailer park, and I just started vomiting uncontrollably.
Because
my respiratory.
Yeah.
Inhalers. I never thought I'd use them, but I use them now.
All right, and tell me again about your wife.
Just she come out with a rash. I think so much poison ivy, and
it wasn't poison ivy.
No, it couldn't have been. She's been here 38 years.
Up oil,
Since 1973.
Yeah.
Some dumping dirt over it, yeah.
All right.
Well, almost a year ago when they said it was cleared up and they're still going.
So they said last November 2010 that they were this was clean.
It was clean. Sure.
And do you have any thoughts of why they're still cleaning?
It's the oil.
Right. Yes, they're still oil, but why would they say it's clean before and now they're cleaning?
I'm not sure what all their lies was about. But they were lying.
And if you have any issues or any problems or any threats, you let me know, and I will make sure to videotape and.
Yeah, used to not use these, but I do now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. It's these companies don't realize what they're doing to us.
I know.
And so what do you have to say to Enbridge? Enbridge watches these videos. What do you want to tell Enbridge? This goes around the world, and thousands of people see this.
What they're doing is wrong.
What are they doing that's wrong?
Not being honest with people, for one thing.
And how do you believe they're not honest?
They lie.
And what have they lied to you about?
About being cleared up when it's not.
Right. So they said last November it was cleared and it wasn't.
Yeah, that was in November
of last year, 2010. And so
yeah.
How many months have they been cleaning since then? All year, basically.
Yeah, it's been going pretty steady. There's been, I can't count the boats and the people that have been out there working.
Yeah,
you
bothering
sleep.
you.
It sounds like drag races on the river.
They wake me up in the mornings.
Yep.
They drown my TV out, and the smell.
As I said, I get out of work.
Huh?
They're running up and down this river before I even get out of work at 6:30 in the morning, and they're
I
going
think
all
I'm
day.
cleared up myself.
And when I try to lay down at night, the couple of hours I can get before I go to work, they're still running up and down that river drag race.
The bottom of the river is full of oil, and they can't get it out. The only way to get it out is to actually dam the entire thing and put equipment in the center of the river and dig it out. That's the only way.
This is what they're
today and wanted to talk to me.
Because I had a severe breathing problem after that oil spill, because I worked right next to the Kalamazoo River.
Okay, tell me more.
And I went to the hospital several times, and I'm still having, like lung problems.
All right.
And they seem to think that's what it was caused from, but then they didn't give me a definite answer. They just put me on a nebulizer machine, which I've never had to do before.
And this is all after the oil spill?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what these chemicals do. It takes time for some of the chemicals to kick in, but if you have anything wrong with you, it intensifies it, makes it, you get sick a lot faster. And then some healthy people are getting sick too. Seizures, coma, death, asthma. Can you tell me, your baby, she had some complications when she was born?
Her side of her face was smushed. Her right eye was very puffy, and it looked like she had a black eye, and her jaws completely offset, and one of her nostrils was closed.
And you were pregnant during the oil spill, is that correct?
Yes.
And what do you think? I mean, now that you know that the oil causes some of these symptoms, what do you feel?
I didn't really realize that it was the oil spill that would have caused something like that. I mean, at first I was very shocked by the way she looked, because I didn't really realize, I thought I had my son, he was perfect, and she wasn't. So, yeah, it's just shocking.
And there was another baby that was born about the same time that is in your building?
Yeah, he was born a few months ago too, and he had a cleft palate. Not the cleft palate, he just had a pushed up lip.
Problems with my breathing. I'm throwing up constantly. I have to get medication to eat. I've lost 70 pounds since I saw started.
Wow.
I lost 40 in 3 months.
You think it's from the oil?
Yeah.
I believe it is, but I just want...
I think it's aspartame speeding up my illness, and they've noticed some problems with my lungs that I never had before.
Right. And I believe that's from all the chemicals you breathe in.
Yep.
What do you want to tell Enbridge in the last 30 seconds that we have of this?
That they need to make it right.
And what do you mean by make it right?
Clean this mess up and start compensating people for what they've done.
And what do you think about what I'm doing?
I think what you're doing is right.
So you're out at Ceresco and you see them working.
Yeah.
Did you ever see where they said it was clean?
Oh yeah. It wasn't, because I could see it. Machines.
So back in October, you're a witness to them saying that they cleaned it.
Because Mrs. Moore, who lives right there on the river, I go and take care of her and help her out. And she has been there since day one. And they should have paid for her to go to a rehab center or something.
Oh, she never got a hotel room or nothing?
Oh, she's on oxygen and she's on a walker. She's 85 years old. She's basically shut in.
And they made her stay there?
They just told her, only go outside for 5 minutes at a time.
Wow. So that's like prison. Their company made her basically stay in a cell and stay there for months and months.
Yeah.
And she wasn't allowed to come out.
Yeah. Give her an air purifier and that was it.
That's all they gave her was the air purifier.
Yeah.
If I went to a motel room, what would I do for food and stuff? I have to have oxygen 24 hours.
Right, but they were supposed to pay for your food, that's why.
They never mentioned anything like
So Enbridge never evacuated you?
No.
Did they ever try to evacuate you?
No, they said if I go outdoors to stay out no more than 5 minutes.
And did...
In the meantime, between those 3 weeks, my breathing got worse. My head, I have tremors. My head actually goes like this. My youngest one now has developed breathing problems. He's on a nebulizer. He hasn't had any breathing problems since he's been born. He's 9 now. He just started these last year. Headaches, I have tremendous, just so bad headaches. With the memory loss, I have that like never before. Like I'm 50, 60 years old.
Having a lot of problems with fatigue, and where I never had those type of problems before. It's messed up a whole lot of things. The money that I spent trying to get the business together set my family back a lot, and I'm still feeling that, right now.
Did Enbridge ever offer to pay you guys back?
No, they never offered anything. We actually went downtown and tried to speak to them at the at the court building several times when they're set up, and they gave us the runaround, telling us we needed.
This company here helping with the auto body and auto mechanics aspect on it until we got sick. The head body man, Mr. Dennis Jordan, me and him was good friends for years, and we end up falling out because of lack of hours getting in to come to work because of health problems. He went to the doctor. I had my respiratory problem. I got chronic asthma and breathing that. So the money started getting messed up in the building. We kind of fell out because we couldn't come in and work because of the smell, and we couldn't get the work done that we need because both of us were sick, having diarrhea and difficulties breathing. And it was just hard. So we kind of fell off, and then when we...
Basically what he's saying is just like Baker Trailer Park, where the low-income people, they don't want to help them. They give money to the people before them and after them because they don't help the low-income people.
I believe that. I'm sorry to say that, man, but because I'm the first one to claim that. But yes, I believe so. I really do. I believe they came in here in this 2-block radius and basically just ripped these guys.
Well, you can't afford attorneys. You can't afford blood tests,
This guy
doctor
wanted
bills.
$30,000 to represent me. I don't have $30,000. That's the I talked to one. He wanted $30,000. I can't afford that.
Well, that's why these oil companies, they're big money, big power, and they get away with this stuff.
I believe they do.
So, I'm going to put this on YouTube. I'm going to make it public with all the other videos.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? This is probably the first I've ever been on YouTube, man. I'm 43. I don't even deal in that stuff, man. I don't know anything about it. I couldn't even get on it.
You're going to help people around the world now because these companies do this to everybody.
Well, man, treat me fair. I deserve it. What come here and you say, well, you don't fit the mold? Whose mold am I fitting?
Right.
I mean, just treat me just as fair as you did everyone down the line. That's all I'm asking.
I agree with you.
Man, if someone out there can help me, I'm just looking to get out of here because I am no longer feeling safe here. I smelled that chemical for at least 60 days.
Yep.
It was strong. I'm telling you, I almost passed out twice.
Yeah.
2 times I was like, whoa, and it was like, man, I'm not feeling right. So I went in the house, but I'm telling you, YouTube, oh man, I'm not wanted anywhere, YouTube. So you caught me at. I mean, I could vent so much about this. It's unreal.
Well, you got about another minute or two.
I'm done.
You're done?
Somebody help me. I have proof that these people have just basically ignored me.
So who's that?
Enbridge Company, the one who spilled oil all through here in Battle Creek, Michigan.
And they did what? They ignored you?
Oh, they're just ignoring me till this day.
Well, we'll do something about that.
Oh, man, help me out, please. Man, please. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This YouTube stuff scares me, man. That new generation, I just don't know anything about it.
It's powerful, though. It does help a lot of people.
I hope it does, because I believe I need some help from someone.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, buddy. Man.
In the last year, I think there was a lot of cover-up. I don't think that they were really out there trying to really get rid of the oil. I read a couple weeks ago in the paper that they were planning on being done with the cleaning by the end of July. If anyone goes near the river, if you look around, stick a stick down in the dirt, you'll see that there's oil still there. I think this is going to be a continuing problem for years. I just wish they'd be more honest with the public than what they've been. There's a lot of sickness that is going on from a year ago that we're still carrying with us. The people in the park have similar illnesses or memory loss, the respiratory problems, so on and so on.
Have people died that you know of, that you believe it's possible the chemicals caused the rapid malfunction of their immune systems, which killed them?
We have so far in this park 4 people that have died, 3 women and 1 man. They all had previous illnesses, and we all believe that with the chemicals in the oil and them people breathing it in, that people that were sick got sicker, and therefore this caused the progression of the disease or the sickness that they had.
So you believe that what I have been doing has helped bring out the cover-up that you say?
Tremendously. I think it's something you need to stick with. The public really needs to be aware that as of right now, this oil is not gone. How they could be finished with the cleanup in a matter of 2 weeks, I don't see how. I don't think people would want to take their kids swimming in the river. I don't think people would want to go canoeing in the river until it's positively cleaned. And as of now, in my opinion, it is not.
Well, Michelle, let me ask you, what do you think about Pat Daniels and some of the executives of Enbridge that said that they were going to clean this up at the Senate meetings better or as good as what it is before the spill?
I think they have a lot of work to do. It's nowhere near what it was. None of the cleanup is anywhere near being completed. You can walk along it, exactly as Nancy said. You can see the oil. You stick a stick into the river, you're going to have sheen come up. They said in front of our government that they would take care of it. They said to our people, we will take care of it, we will make you whole, we will take care of whatever needs to be done. And we're sitting here a year later and it hasn't been done.
Our people, what do you feel about the lies? I mean, has there been that many lies? Is it all me? Or is there really been, hundreds and hundreds of residents that have been lied to over and over again?
A lot of residents, and I'm not just talking about here in our park, I'm talking along the stretch of the river. You have illnesses from little kids to the elderly, all the way up and down the river. It was that way a year ago, it's still that way. Have they bought out some properties? Yes, they have. Have they, but they seem to pick and choose, and my expectation is that they'll utilize those people in court against those of us who have filed lawsuits because we've had to. The health problems are just outrageous along the river, and there have been populations, a couple of apartment complexes that have been shut due to quote-unquote other problems, but none of those people, I believe, were taken care of or reported, and we need a health study.
Yes, we do need a health study. Nancy, what's your opinion on the way Enbridge has treated me for trying to document this oil that's been left behind that's hurting the residents? What's your opinion on that?
My opinion is that if they weren't doing something wrong, then there would have been no problem with you putting videos out there. It would have just showed areas that aren't finished with the cleanup.
And what do you believe about all the arrest attempts that they've had on me and the assaults and stuff
There
like
again, you ask yourself why. What is it you're doing except to show the public what is really going on? They don't want the people to know this.
And why do you feel that?
Because they know for a fact that they can't clean all the oil out. And when you're talking about a company, big money, you know, they feel they can get away with anything.
Yeah, they do. So, just so everybody knows, I almost didn't come back. I was in Florida having the time of my life with my family. I said my goodbyes just in case something happens. I have a small business that I gave to my family, and I did my last will and testament, and I'm back. I'm going to finish what I started, and no matter what happens to me, at least I know I did the right thing, and I followed through, and these residents really need somebody to be a voice for them, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to help them out. So I want to thank you guys for all these videos that you've done over the last year, and we will do more in the future. I'm going to go out in the river and do some more investigating and see what they have cleaned up and what they haven't cleaned up, and then I will make that public. Do you have any last words, Nancy?
Just keep up the good work.
Thank you. And Michelle?
Don't stop videotaping, and all the public out there also needs to get their cameras and videotapes out. If you live along the river, you need to talk to a lawyer.
Yes. Here's another thing. The reason why I'm doing these videos is because there's going to be more oil spills. And when there's an oil spill, somebody needs to be aware of what these companies are going to do. They're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you that everything's fine. They're going to tell you don't worry about it. They're going to get you to sign off your health rights and your regular rights for 5% of what you deserve or what you will get if you get an attorney. It's a financial game they play with our lives. And if I don't make these videos public, the people in the future won't know what to do when something like this happens. At least they have a reference now when there's an oil spill in their area. They can watch these videos, they know the lies they're going to be told, they know what to do about it ahead of time. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. The other part of the reason is because my community was tortured with fumes and illegal chemicals that we weren't evacuated from, and the people from Enbridge, Pat Daniels and several of the executives need to be sentenced and sent to prison for lying to us and for hurting our families. And there's been miscarriages, stillborns, animals have died over and over again that are being born, and they can't make it. These chemicals are in their bodies and they're not going away. So thank you. Please pass these videos around, and I appreciate all your support.
So even though our oils are toxic, they're not as nearly as toxic as the stuff that you apparently encountered over there. So, but the oil and gas industry, the dishonesty that these people possess and the things that they do that are detrimental to communities is almost beyond belief. And they have no compassion whatsoever. They have no honesty. They have no pride, and they're worried about the bottom line. The bottom line is the bottom line.
How long have you been a doctor?
Since 1971, making 40 years.
Okay. And when I tell you about all the people that had seizures and got sick in my community, is that from the oil? Because the EPA and Enbridge said that it's not, that everybody's okay and there's no long-term effects and don't worry about it.
You just heard my testimony about my patients, and I'm convinced that their problems are from the oil. And I had two people over here that you saw and heard that both had severe seizure problems, and you saw one of my patients actually having seizures that I'd filmed. So my answer to that is that I don't know what's going on in Michigan, but if you're having people having seizure problems and have been exposed to this oil, there's a very good chance that that's what it's caused for.
The PAHs affect the fetus, the baby in the womb. It can result in high miscarriages or problems with the child. Delayed growth, stunted growth, mental problems as well. Elders, our body is like a rain barrel, and throughout your whole life, that rain barrel fills up, drip, 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 with toxic chemicals. And your body's doing the best it can to try to break these things down and get them out. But as an elder or as an older person, you can just get overwhelmed. You know, your body can just get overwhelmed. It's fighting this, it's fighting that. maybe fighting some other chronic illnesses or health problems you have, and suddenly here comes an oil spill on top of everything else, and the spill can act as a triggering event where it can actually make other health problems worse. So, elders. African Americans, I'm really sorry to say, looking around the community here, because African Americans are prone to blood disorders anyway, sickle cell anemia, and the oil creates blood disorders or can make them worse. And finally, anybody with already existing health problems, because your system is already compromised and weakened. So I mean, this is like a no kidding situation here. In the Gulf, we had hands across the sand. The symptoms across the Gulf, stuffy nose, bad headache, sore throat, even blisters in the throat. Sorry. Hoarseness, dizziness, nausea, ear and nose bleeds. People would wake up in the morning with their pillow just soaked. Kids, adults, skin rashes. I have pictures of some of that. Peeling hands and soles of feet from walking in the sand. Blood in the urine, blood in the vomit, blood in the stool, blood everywhere, okay? Lethargy, fatigue, brain fog, that's something I haven't made, and I forgot, again, to put the eye problem on here, and diarrhea.
Hello, Ricky. What do you think that you learned or helped us with at the Michigan oil spill?
Pretty much what I did in the Gulf, which is drawing people together and having people realize that their real strength is in themselves. It's not waiting for the government to help you or waiting for Enbridge to help you. It's really about how can we organize as a community what it is that we want, rather than hearing what Enbridge will do for us or not do, what the government can or can't do, as in, we really can't help you with any of the health stuff. No, what is it that people want, and how are we going to get what we want as a community, not as individuals, but by grouping together and using leverage points with the media, with the politicians, and with our own selves, with our own community and social networking. What is it that we want, and how can we get it?
Thank you. It's in August 2011, just video to show this is Econo Lodge. This is where they were actually putting people for the oil spill, so they would get out of their homes, away from the fumes, you know, to protect them. And guess what? That's the river right there. Look how close we are from the river right here that goes through downtown to the Econo Lodge, where they put people to get them away from the river. They didn't try to help these people. They hurt some of them more because they put them closer to the fumes.
Can you turn on the air conditioner? It's on the wall in the hallway. Push the right button to the left. It's okay, babe. I got you. It's okay. It's almost over. It's almost over. It's almost over. It's almost over. It's okay. It's okay. It's almost over. It's almost over. It's almost over. Can you lift this chair? Slide. Push everything that way. It's okay, It's okay.
What else you need, Michelle?
I'm timing it. Okay.
I know you're pulling.
It hurts, I know, baby.
I know, honey.
Mama.
It's okay. It's okay.
Help me, Mom.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're all right.
All right.
Oh.
Who am I?
Michelle. That hurt.
I know it hurt. Hold on, baby. I'm buttoning you.
Oh gosh.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
My daughter does the same thing, so I know.
Who has the same thing?
My daughter.
Your daughter has seizures too?
Yeah.
Okay, it's called.
This is why we have to stop Enbridge and these oil companies from doing this. They're having seizures.
and they're getting sick from this tar sand oil. Please help us.
I just want my kids and their father to be safe. I want to be healthy, and that is all I want. I'm not worried about any amount of money. I want my kids tested. They said it's $700. That would be 700 times 4, and we want tested, and we want tested today.